Welcome back to another episode of the Fitish podcast with me, JC, and pregnant Jenna.
Pregnant Jenna. Yeah, pregnant Jenna needs to figure out her maternity style. So strange to say that.
I thought it's, isn't it flowy, like maxi dresses?
No, that is not. Well,
damn.
That's some people's maternity style. That is not Jenna's maternity style.
That was Kenzie's. That was my wife's.
Well, I think flowy dresses are comfortable, especially if you're super pregnant in the summer, because what else are you going to wear? But I think I'm going to be into more fitted. Like today I was getting dressed and I have these pants that are kind of stretchy ribbed long pants. And they're tight around the waist. And I thought, I'm just going to do it. Like I'm just going to start wearing things that kind of
show the bump,
accentuate the bump, because I have a pretty round fat face. So if I wear billowy, like a lot of the girls that tend to dress pretty preppy, they'll wear dresses with a lot of fabric.
Yeah.
And then they just look like, I don't know, like a big egg that you're going to roll down a hill.
A Humpty Dumpty?
Like a Humpty Dumpty, yeah. And I feel like because my face is round, and if my face starts getting fatter, which I'm sure it's going to, I can't wear a real like foo-foo dress, like a moo-moo.
So you're gonna keep it tight.
I'm gonna keep it. Well, not necessarily. Yeah, maybe kind of fitted, or like a, they sell a lot of these like onesie things that you wear, like leggings and sweaters, that sort of thing. But yes, something that actually accentuates the bump instead of just hides it.
Question for the non-pregnant people, or from the non-pregnant people.
Okay.
Like myself.
Yeah.
When is it going to be okay for people to come up to you and go like, oh, when's your baby due? And you not be like, oh.
I've read that it's never okay.
Never
actually.
okay.
You
See,
should
that's the
never
rule.
ask someone, I have had moments where I see a woman or she's in line in front of me in a store and I can tell she's super pregnant, like she's about to pop. Still won't do it.
I know. I can't. I think the unwritten rule is not to bring it up unless you see the baby crowning.
Yeah, if you see the baby coming out.
Yeah, like if she is on the ground at the grocery store and says, hey, dude, can you come over here and help me get this baby out? Then I'll be like, oh, you're pregnant?
Oh.
When are you due? Like that's the spot.
I just think, I read too many, how the algorithm works on social media now. So I'm just inundated with kind of baby, labor, delivery, maternity stuff. And there's always memes that are like, it's never okay to ask a woman when she's pregnant. It's never okay to ask a woman like, ooh, how many are in there?
Yeah, never ask how many.
Are you expecting twins? That kind of thing.
I've had the dumbass friends that have done that or asked a woman, when are they due? And they're not pregnant.
Right.
Whether one of them, I think she had just given birth, so she had just given birth maybe a week or two prior.
Yeah,
so
that makes you feel like shit postpartum because you still have the baby bump.
It's like, just don't ask. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Don't ask unless they bring it up to you. You can't do it. But I have a question.
Okay.
I'm trying not to get sad with it, but from the beginning of life to the end of life, because we did on the radio show, we did the family vacation thing,
right?
And I want to know how you feel about this. My grandpa passed away while I was on the family vacation.
I'm sorry.
Which is, and thank you. But he was an older dude.
Is he in Mexico?
He's in Mexico, which that creates a whole issue because my mom's not going to be able to go down there and visit because she just had her cancer surgery. And so she's feeling upset about it, which is why I'm not going to fault her for what she did. But she sent me the text message.
Oh, as breaking the news.
Yes, and I was on a bus on the way back to the hotel after a long day with our coworkers. So I'm on the bus.
Your mom doesn't always know the best way. Let's just be honest. She doesn't deliver news to you in the best way. It was like ever.
And I didn't want to get on her at that point because it's not the right time to do it. But she sent me the text, and it was one of those where I saw it, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to make other people uncomfortable because I was around a lot of other people that were with us, that helped us get out there. And so I'm trying to hold tears back. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, why couldn't she just say, call me when you get back or call me when you get so that's a little PSA. If you have some news to share to people, it is best. And again, I'm not mad at my mom whatsoever, but I do feel like if we could take it back and do it differently, I would have preferred can you give me a call? Right?
Yeah.
Because the text message just kind of it's pow. It's right there. It just hits you right in the face.
You have to deliver bad news, preferably in person. And if it's not available in person,
via
on
voice.
the phone. Yeah.
Yeah. She did that with my real dad. Like when she told me about my real dad.
Yeah.
She told me in person. It was just on my sister's birthday. So
we got to work on JC's mom's timing in life. Yeah.
I think that's why my timing is so off from time to time. I think it's just it just runs in the family. But it was one of those where I hadn't gotten one of those text messages where I had to pretend like nothing happened.
So, I mean, and I know with Mexico right now, Francis said they're back in the red zone, so everything's shut down again. So, I mean, they're probably not. I mean, are they having a funeral? Are you even going to be able to go?
Yeah, they are going to have a funeral. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go.
Yeah.
And talk about when it rains, it pours. So on my father's side,
oh my God, what is this?
Jenna?
Why is this bad news? I thought we were going to talk about me being pregnant.
I know,
now we're just going to talk about death.
But this is my other sister on my father's side is getting married. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to go.
Oh, that's good news. Okay. Yeah, but they live in France?
No, she lives in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So she's older. She's 20-something years old. She got engaged to this dude who's pretty cool. His name's Nacho. But my dude came down and had to have a surgery, and they let him know. They showed him back up, and he woke up. And it's like have you ever seen a Walk to Remember?
Yeah.
This is it.
Oh.
So they tried to operate, and they said they found something on his pancreas or something, and they sewed him back up, and they had to tell him, like, you don't have a good chance to live. And my guy, instead of getting down or saying I'm out or saying, okay, that's it, he said, okay, I'm going to make the best of life. And they asked him, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to get married to Renata. So that's his thing. Like, he wanted to get married. So they're going to have a
props
wedding.
To people that marry someone they know is about to die. Because that's just sad.
Well, that's still, and I think I would do the same thing if I was faced with that situation.
Why? But why get married?
Because I don't know. It's their last wish. You're in love with them already. And it's just, you get to have that memory.
I mean, the marriage ends when they die.
It does. It does. But what if like a miracle can happen?
But why spend the money and have people go when you can like go travel and do other, I don't know. Clearly marriage is not that important to me. Like, marriage would not be my last dying wish.
For us in Mexico, it is, at least in my family, I guess. But yeah, she just, and it's free because they're doing it at my uncle's ranch. Yeah. So they're not spending money on that, maybe on food and everything like that. And other than that, their expenses are not going to be astronomical. But yeah, I thought, and it gets me thinking of people that are faced with those situations and how well they respond to it. Because I think that I feel like I'd be the one that would curl up and go into a closet and just chill there for the rest. But there's so many people that are going out and living life. Yeah. Getting married, traveling the world, making
I'm
the
sure
best
they have their moments. I'm sure you have your moment of sadness. Yeah.
But they seem so strong and everything, which was really cool. So it's not meant to be a sad thing. I think it's more of a beautiful story that he's going to get his wish. And hopefully there's like a miracle that happens, because there's always that percentage. Even though it's not a good percentage, he's still looking at it like, nah, I'm still going to beat it.
You know, speaking of marriage, since Fran and I aren't legally married yet, we have to fill out all this paperwork before you have a baby. Yeah. And if you're married to the biological father, you don't really have to do a whole lot of anything, right? Like, the mom has to fill out most of the paperwork, which is funny that I look at this paperwork because the mom fills out everything to obtain the birth certificate, right? So like, you bring all the paperwork when you go in to deliver the baby, and then a couple weeks later you're able to obtain the child's birth certificate. And it's mostly mom information. I mean, they need a little bit from the dad. They literally ask about the dad. Like, name. Is he Mexican? Name. What's his level of education? Like, that fucking matters.
They ask for education?
Yeah. And, like name, occupation, social security number. And then mom, it's like everything, like all sorts of medical history, on and on and on. But if you're not married to the guy who's fathering the child, you have to go through this whole other thing to get this like acknowledgement of paternity. So like, I'm basically because we're not legally married, even though he's the dad. And same as like, if you and I were married, but I had a baby with someone else.
Yeah. Cheating.
You would have to sign, cheating. Well, whatever it is, this is all on these forms. You would have to sign go through and get all this certified paperwork, a denial of paternity.
To say that that's not my baby, but I still want to be on the...
Sure, you could still at some point father the baby, but you are not biologically the father, so you'd have to do a denial of paternity.
Whoa. I had no idea there was all that going on.
I didn't either.
Before babies.
So there's all this paperwork. It's wild. Yeah. We went to the doctor yesterday, and because, now I'm in the second trimester, I got to finish my shots. It's so amazing. I'm so happy. And, but we went to the doctor and we thought, I was just going to the doctor to get a sonogram or something, you know. Oh my gosh, it was a 2-hour doctor's appointment. Again, things that no one prepares you for. All these women, you all black out when you have a baby. I'm sure I'm going to be that person. You all black out in love when you give birth to this child and you forget about everything else along the way. Yeah, I'm like leaving work, like I'll be back in 45 minutes. I'm just going to go get a sonogram and talk to my doctor and I'll be back. 2.5-hour onboarding birth later, they just onboarded me. Like I got 7 vials of blood drawn because I'm geriatric. So legally I'm required to get all this genetic testing done because I'm an old mom.
Geriatric?
I'm an old mom. I'm 37 years old. So they're like legally required to test you for all sorts of stuff.
Isn't it crazy that we weren't supposed to live past like 35 back in the day?
Yeah, I'm a geriatric mom. And so I had to go through all this. And then, you know, the pee and the weight and all of that. I'm 5 pounds since my last appointment. So I'm just like packing on those baby pounds.
That's good.
He's big, by the way. So almost so big that they might move my due date back, which they never do with IVF because he's like always measuring 4 days ahead of schedule.
Yo, you getting a womb delay?
Yeah.
Because I know flight delays are happening.
No.
Yeah, you're delaying the womb. Oh, you're going to push it up?
No. He's ahead of schedule, so they might move the due date back.
Up.
Or, yeah, like up.
Gotcha.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, because he's getting too big for the room and board. Damn.
And he's heinous looking.
Jenna, hold on one second.
He's so ugly. This fetus inside of me right now is so ugly. He looks like a baby chicken that just hatched. He looks skeletal with a very extended chin, and his hand was up by his mouth. He's terrifying. He better get better looking. He's hideous.
Well, first of all, he's got to put on a little bit of weight, right? He's going to put on some fat.
Yeah, he's like 3.5 inches right now.
Shout out. But they do like if you're gonna go out there and get those 3D scans.
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten one yet.
Listen,
Brand's like we're getting one at like 20 weeks, but they look ugly.
The longer you wait, the better it's going to be for you.
Yeah.
I speak from experience, okay? Because you will
saw the options for purchasing the packages on the wall yesterday.
The earlier you get it, the less body fat that these babies are going to have. And the less body fat, the more alien-y these things look. And there's no refunds here, people.
So these are the 3D ones in the room. Yeah, because mine's just like the black and white typical sonogram. But they offer now like the first peek. But each of them are quite expensive. They're like $150, $200 a pop. But you can do first peek around 10 weeks. You can do one for to determine the sex of the baby, which we already know. So we can skip that part at like 15 weeks. And then around 20 or 25 weeks, you can do this like full 3D one where they actually look like the wrinkly babies in there. Fran wants to do it and I don't. I mean, am I the only person? Like, I think babies are just like hideous for like most of the time, and especially when they come out. Like they all kind of, let's just be honest. You're one of those, everyone thinks their kid's the cutest kid in the world. I'm just more honest. I'm like, no, babies are pretty hideous right when they come out.
I feel like I would have been honest if my kids were ugly. And I was. I did say when both of my kids were pulled out of the stomach, because we had C-section, or Kinsey had C-sections both times.
Well, that's usually better. I mean, in terms of their appearance, because when they have to go through that birth canal, that's when they get those cone heads.
Yeah, because they get grabbed right here, and then they'll get little freaking like they got poked through, and there's like a little warped and stuff. So they come out looking like a deflated football. But when you're like, oh, that's not. But about a week or two later, they start looking like babies, and they get cute.
Of course.
And even if your baby is ugly, you're going to think they're the cutest thing in the world.
Oh, I'm aware. I mean, we all know people that think they have cute children.
Yeah, we all know. But
we all know those people.
We know, but they're not. And that's okay, because we need good-looking people.
But
we need average people. We need ugly people in the world.
It's in the eyes of the parent, right? Well, anyway, we'll see. But
what's their personality like? That's what matters in the end. You're going to have a a-hole baby, but he's really cute? Or do you want a really ugly baby, but superstar personality?
Yeah. Fran's excited. He's like loving the look of this sonogram. And I'm like, ugh. Oh, he's like moving around in there. The whole thing to me is so strange. And it's so funny because I'm a science-based person. Like I'm a fact, evidence, science-based mentality in life.
So you like facts? Good.
I like facts. I like science. I know exactly what's going on in there. But it is still so fucking crazy to me when it's your own body and you're like, there is this little alien creature connected to tubes. Like, how are they
You got
breathing?
A universe going on in there.
Yeah, it's wild what the body's capable of. It's so cool.
Kason, when we did a 3D one, my guy was in there holding his microphone.
Oh yeah, sometimes they suck their thumb or he was holding his penis.
Yeah, he was holding his ween.
Oh, the penis is so small.
But he was holding it, like he was squeezing. I was like, "What is he grabbing on?" And they're like, "He's being a boy."
Starts young.
He's just holding the microphone.
Another reason I'm dreading the boy. I have to deal with the penis.
On par with like how he is nowadays. Like, cause this, I don't know what it is about us boys, but we must have a magnet on our hand.
God, it is. It's just instinctual, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't mean to. It's just.
Well, and good news for me, I'm like cleared to exercise again.
You still can't exercise? Which
I can.
Perfect.
No, I can. And I haven't been because of the IVF and all of this. And then I guess a lot of women can probably relate on their first pregnancy. You're kind of scared. You're like, can I just go run again? I mean, there's something so small in there. It feels so fragile. Can I just go run again? So I think I'm going to ease back into it a bit.
And that's exactly what you could do. And a lot of people, they're getting scared of going out there in public or going to the gyms with a bunch of people. That's why get yourself a Tonal, workout from home.
This piece of equipment is so cool.
It is awesome. You can do HIIT workouts. You can do yoga. You could do meditation. You could even customize your own workouts. I could do it on my app right now. Get home and my workout will be ready to go. It's got music to go along with it. The trainers show you how to do the moves. So if you don't know how to do something, they'll be right there to help you along the way.
And so what does it look like? Well, it is a sleek kind of television looking device that just hangs on your wall really seamlessly. You can, of course, add some other cool accoutrements. You know, you can get a bench, and it has the ability, I think, to lift about 200 pounds built into this device. But all in all, it's really sleek. I mean, it could fit in an office or a small bedroom.
So think of those cable machines that you see at the gym. This is exactly that, but you can turn it into free weights. You can turn it literally into whatever workout you desire to do. The bench comes with it. The handles come with it. The rope comes with it. You just got to attach, do the workout, and get buff, get skinny, lose weight, meditate, whatever you want to do.
Meditate, that's what I was going to say. Sometimes I get dressed to work out and I really don't want to work out. So they have other options on there.
Even stretching. Jenna, like if you just feel like doing a stretch for that day, trainers will help you out with that. They got programs. I'm telling you, this is a gym in your house. Doesn't take up that much room. You could freaking put it in your closet if you want to. It'd be tough to work out in there, but it's that small. So it's not going to take a bunch of room. You could try Tonal for 30 days risk-free. Just visit tonal.com for $100 off the smart accessories when you use the promo code Fitish at checkout. That's tonal.com. The promo code is going to be Fitish. That's the name of our podcast. Tonal, be your strongest.
You know, I went to South Carolina to see some family. So when you were on family vacation, I was in South Carolina, which was great. We have family there. My grandparents, you know, every time I think sometimes you see grandparents, you're like, this might be, as you get older, maybe one of the last times you see your grandparents. Yeah. And my grandfather's dealing with really bad dementia. So we were all like not sure how it was going to be when he came to the house to see all of us. We're like, is he going to remember my dad? There's no way he's going to remember who I am. You know, he did a pretty good job. Like,
he did?
He did okay. Yeah. I think that there had been some issues lately where he's like leaving in the middle of the night to go drive around. It's so sad, you know, when you hear stories, and my dad's so lucky to have 3 sisters that all still live kind of in the vicinity there because they're taking turns like spending the night with them. And it's just strange, you know, I think to lose your mind before you lose anything else physical, you know, because my grandparents were driving and allowed to drive and totally fine to drive up until, you know, a year ago. And now, you know, I think my aunts are hiding the car keys, they said, because they still think they're capable of driving, but they're not because they don't know where to go. Like he doesn't like feel like his house is his home at night and doesn't even know like where to go into the bedroom. Or when he came over, I asked him if he wanted iced tea or water, and he looked at me and he was like, I don't know what those are. Like, I don't know which one I like,
that
you know?
Scary. This is why we get those silver alerts, right? Because they'll sometimes get out of the house.
In the car and they'll go out and they're lost. I mean, they're lost. I know. And it just has to be so hard. Yeah, they said it's hard too because he kind of recognizes that he's forgetting. He's getting frustrated with it, you know? But he came over and he was good. And my family told me, they were like, take one for the team and just talk about being pregnant the whole time. Because everyone loves baby talk. You know, they've all had kids or they want to talk about kids, and it's new news. It's not some old memory. So I ended up spending the whole time talking about baby, and they were all trying to give me some name ideas and stuff like that. It went pretty well. I mean, it was nice to get some family time in.
Business idea here.
What?
Get ready for this.
Okay.
Remember in the Notebook, homeboy had to show her pictures and all that stuff and the letters and all that to get those memories back. What if we get all these actors and actresses that can't get jobs in Hollywood, and we write a script for the old people with dementia or that are losing their memory, and we recreate their life with these actors. And every day they can watch the movie of their own life.
Of their own life. Yeah.
Yeah. Played by actors that loosely resemble them to remind them of who they are, where they came from, with the family. That's a pretty good idea,
I mean,
right?
it might cost some money, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they seem to remember really old memories. You know, like they were telling me stories that I wouldn't even know, you know, about my dad or my aunts from when they were like very young. They don't remember the stuff from recent, you know, like just, or stuff from a week ago or a few hours ago. They remember stuff from many, many years ago. And that's kind of what they want to talk about.
I think that's me right now.
Yeah. Jenna, I mean, I don't know. My memory's gotten worse as well.
We went back to the office recently for work, and we have TVs in the break room or in the kitchen, right? You remember those? And they were playing segments back from, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Don't recall it.
Segments that I was laughing at myself at.
Yeah.
Like things I wrote, songs I wrote and performed. I had zero recollection about doing it. I was like, damn, that was good.
You got to think about how much...
You know, hey, I'm going to give myself...
You got to think about how much content y'all have to do all day, every day, year after year after year. I mean, you talk a lot every day.
Yeah, we do.
It has to be hard to recall everything you do.
But I would have thought that like songs like that would have stuck out. One of them was a song I did on our TV show on Dish Nation. That was pretty funny because I went at one of our coworkers from Atlanta. It was funny. It was like a little diss track. It was
You didn't remember it all?
Didn't remember it. Not one bit. Then we did a rap where we rapped about our hometowns. That was the one that we played.
Was I on that?
Yeah, you were on that one.
Don't recall.
Yeah, exactly. Yours was pretty good too. Like we did raps about our hometown. Like we had to spell out where we grew up.
No.
And with you don't remember that at all, right? It was great. It was freaking great. We should play.
Man, I got to do some crossword puzzles. My stepmom was so good on the trip. She keeps herself so stimulated. She does like 1,000-piece puzzles. She'll sit there and knock out a puzzle. I mean, she's always doing stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is when you stop challenging yourself mentally, you know, you got to read, you just got to do stuff. You got to challenge yourself.
Go learn something new. I heard that we're supposed to be learning something new to keep our brains active and to fire off in little
Hey,
ranges.
you get pregnant, you're going to learn new shit every day. I mean, on that trip, JC, I'd like take a bite of cookie dough and be like, I bet I can't eat that, you know? Or like I've been drinking juices from the juice bar or, you know, from juice places in general, not at all allowed to do that. Like did not know all kinds of stuff.
Listen,
that I'm not allowed to do.
Our parents were smoking cigarettes when we were in the belly. I was in there.
It's true.
It was like a freaking nightclub in my mom's stomach. You know,
I would just think though at 37 and knowing what we know now that I would know better than to do that. But there's just so many things out there that I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that. You know, like you can have Tylenol, you can't have Advil when you have a horrible headache. Yeah. You can have Tums, you can't have Pepto. Can't have cookie dough because of all the raw stuff in there. And I'm like,
I'm pretty sure when I was born, Jenna, a bunch of ashes came out and some like some, I don't know if cigarettes have resin, but like whatever that tarry substance is from the cigarettes, I was probably covered in that.
Nicotine.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
I know my mom, you know, my parents were smokers and my mom's not anymore. She quit when I was young, but she told me, she's like, we didn't know then. I mean, we knew that alcohol wasn't good by then. I mean, this was in the early 80s. We knew alcohol wasn't good for pregnancy, but we didn't know. They hadn't really made any kind of finite decision on tobacco. And so she said that she was like, but I cut back because I had a feeling it wasn't healthy. And I'm like, you cut back? Like, how much did you cut back when you were pregnant with me? Because she taught jazzercise until she was 8 months pregnant. My mom was also that bitch that was like 100 pounds when she got pregnant with me. She was like stick thin.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I cut back. I had like 3 cigarettes. And I was like, oh, so like you had 3 cigarettes the whole duration of your pregnancy with me. She's like, yeah, like a day. And I was like,
I pictured
you had 3 a day? I thought maybe she had 3 total. And I was like, no. Okay, that is not bad for like a hardcore smoker who got pregnant. She had 3. She cut back from a pack to 3 a day.
I think that was my mom too. And my mom was a teenager, guys. Like she was in high school over there smoking at lunch with her baby and they're just coughing up, living his best life.
Wow. Isn't it amazing? And you turned out pretty okay.
So
I don't know,
Jen. I'm pretty.
Think about. I mean, you could have been better without the inhalation.
Listen. I keep repeating this, and nobody will listen. But I'm gonna keep howling this out there. My younger brother on my father's side, that motherfucker's 6'6". my father.
And like superstar athlete.
Nah, he's a drummer.
Oh,
but he could have been if he wanted to. Yeah, if he wanted to, he could have been an athlete probably. Look how tall that dude is. My father, 6'7"-ish.
You were stunted.
I'm like, I met all these dudes my mom even she's tall. She's like 5'10".
It was the SIGs.
It's the SIGs.
It was the SIGs.
Definitely
stunted you.
I got to 6'1" at 14 years old. Your boy stopped growing.
At least you're 6'1", dude. I mean, it could be worse. But it could have been the SIGs.
I mean, it could be worse.
They didn't help.
But that's
they didn't help.
I could have been
Your height was really like the least of my concerns with your abilities. Yeah.
I was going to go to the NFL and everything, Jenna. Those 2 inches would have been everything. Everything. Probably not gone to the NFL, but in my head, I did. In another universe. It's true.
I need to stop worrying about it because I think they start giving you a hard time about food as well. You know, like they want you to eat this balanced diet, and I'm like, I am just finally able to eat some chicken, you know, because for the most part, I've been having bagels and cream cheese. I've been having grilled cheeses, wheat thins and cream cheese.
I know. And
English
a lot of
muffins with cream cheese. That's about that. I've been on a steady diet, if you can tell, of bread, different kinds of bread and cream cheese.
Well, look, I know a lot of people, they're trying to resolve their diet and figure out how to eat healthy.
Yeah, I'm an exception right now.
Yeah. Jenna's pregnant, so you eat whatever you want, Jenna. This is what you're allowed to eat, whatever you want. But when you do want to get back on track, a lot of people think, I'll go on these websites. They'll tell me, don't listen to websites. Get Noom. Because a lot of our eating habits are psychological. Everything we do is psychological.
This is a different approach to getting you on the right track when it comes to eating, right? So they're not going to make food off limits. Because I think what a lot of people don't realize is when you try to ban food, it actually makes you psycho over it. It makes you crave it. It makes you want it. You obsess over it because you're restricting yourself. So Noom has a completely different approach.
Don't set yourself up to fail by just changing your routine, just cold turkey like that. What Noom's going to do, it's gonna empower you with knowledge to build smarter, more sustainable habits and behaviors, which in turn are going to last a lot longer than a diet that you would do for a month would do, right?
Or, you know, just as a girl, speaking as a woman, and I know this is what a lot of women do, you'll kind of deprive yourself all day of things, or you'll stay on track all day and eat really clean, but you haven't eaten enough. So by nighttime, you're just a monster, right? Like you'll just eat a full meal, anything, whatever's closest, you know? So you'll start learning about why you eat what you do and when your eating habits are picking up. And Noom's really going to help you get you some tips. And again, psychology-based tips.
If you want to start your trial and get psychology-based support and motivation, because you do get your group, man, you got your people on Noom, you can go to noom.com/Fitish. That's Noom, noom.com/Fitish. Look, more than 80% of users complete the program. More than 60% of users lose 5% or more body weight, and 60% of them keep fighting off that weight for a year or more.
I love statistics.
This is, exactly. Jenna said she's a science-based person. That is scientific evidence right there that it is working for a lot of people. So if you want to try it out, again, you can try your trial. Go to Noom.com, noom.com/Fitish, and get that trial going. Set yourself up to succeed. It's
almost my nap time.
Have you been taking a lot of naps?
Yes, sir, I have. Well, the nausea is finally, the medicine helped, but I'm feeling better. But that's what they say. I've been sitting here waiting to be like, I feel sexy. I feel great. You know, like I want to have sex all the time and I look great. Because a lot of women say that they hit those phases in pregnancy. But I've learned that doesn't usually happen in the first trimester, that it's like more towards the second and third trimester where people start feeling a lot better. Well, until the very end when you can barely roll around.
I'd like to see the statistics on pregnant, horny women. Because my wife was on the, those things took off. Like she wanted to get it on all the time when she was pregnant. But I've heard from other girls that were like, no, I don't want to be touched when I was pregnant.
I think for me, I found that it's been a definite kind of like up and down. Like sometimes in the mood, sometimes really not in the mood. It's been kind of like this for me. Definitely the first trimester has been rough. They say that the reason that women tend to get that way, more aroused, is because when you're you have so much more blood flow going on down there in that area.
It's pushing it down there. Okay.
So you're having you're almost like, there's times apparently that you're like aroused at all times because you have so much blood flow. As you're getting bigger down there, everything's swelling. So all those lady parts are actually getting swollen. And you gain like 4 pounds, I read, of blood volume. That's part of your weight gain when you're pregnant. So you have more blood going through your body and more blood volume. So when all that blood's like hanging out down there, it's like, hey.
I think some of the reason why the girls don't want to be as sexual with their partners when they're pregnant is because of maybe a little bit of body dysmorphia. Maybe you don't feel your best.
Sure.
Let me tell you this, pregnant ladies and Jenna.
Pregnant ladies and Jenna.
It is. Pregnancy is sexy as fuck.
What?
No.
Every man feels that way, but
from a lot of my dudes, and ask Franny. Franny's gonna tell you there is just something. There's some about a girl like when she's pregnant and that's your baby and that's your woman. Like it's just. I don't know. You're glowing.
I would think it's just a lot.
It's
sexier.
Just
like a lot of boob, a lot of nipple area, a lot of
just
stomach.
all woman. Guys, listen. Guys like curves, man. A lot of dudes, we like them curves. And what you're doing is you're now just highlighting, just like, bap, bap, boom, get it over here. More nipple, perfect.
More nipple area, perfect.
Yeah, whatever. We're all about it.
Not how I feel. Yeah, especially when I'm like, can barely have clothes touch them right now.
Yeah. It's probably sensitive. But let your men, let them tell you how they're feeling and take it in. Don't say, no, I don't. No, take it in. If your man's telling you look damn good pregnant, take it in. Because if you shut us down, what we do is like, then I'm just not gonna.
Brand is such a horn dog. Like he thinks I look good all the time, even when I know I look like shit. He does not care.
Exactly.
He's but you got those. He does not care.
You gotta believe him. I still walk by Kinsey, and I've been with my wife for 18, 19 years almost. Because we started dating in college, beginning of college. I still walk by her, like when she gets out of the shower. And I think it's cool as hell that I get to see a nipple just randomly. You're
like a 10-year-old boy still.
I get to like
it's a nipple.
It is so cool because it's like as a boy you think about these things like, man, one day I'm gonna get to see a boobie and she's gonna let me.
I can't believe I have to have a boy. Yeah, and this is what I'm gonna have to deal with.
I feel like a lot of dudes think this way. Like I get to see a butt every day. Really? This is my life. It's the best.
But you don't feel that way when you see your kids.
No. I tell my, I don't know what it is about my son right now. I'm scaring you to have a boy.
Is he having an attitude?
No, he's not having an attitude.
Is he being gross?
He's being gross. A lot of butt jokes, and also he's exploring quite a bit now.
How old is he now?
He's 9.
Yeah,
and he's wanting to ask questions.
Yeah,
Kinsey's gonna hate this story. We had to put lotion. Because my guy started chafing because he's been playing football. So, So I have my ball deodorant that I got from Manscaped. Hashtag not an ad. I just use it because it's good. And so Kinsey said, you should use this. And he didn't know how to put it on. So he goes, can you help me put it on? And so she showed him like what he needed to do. So he starts putting it on. And I guess he didn't realize that lotion in that area would, as a guy, you just touch it, it just goes up. And so he started asking her questions she wasn't ready for, like, Mommy, why is it doing that? And so what
did she say?
Nothing. She yelled, Jose.
Yeah. So Dad, get in here.
So I walk in the room.
You're up.
And my guy's sitting there and he's like, what's going
me out.
What's going on? And I'm like, I don't know.
Did not say I don't know.
I don't know how to explain this to you, son. I'm like, sometimes it's just our bodies, man. It's going on. He goes, I know. It happens all the time when I wake up. And I was like, yep, it does. And he goes, and it's hard to pee. That's why I pee. That's why I get pee all over. And I'm like, yep, see, that's where you got to stop talking. So we got to stop talking,
so
sir.
What do you tell him?
I find it's just awkward to talk about it when Kinsey's standing right there. So when she finally walked away, I said, listen, son. What's happening to your penis is that you're getting blood flowing to that region. And he goes, why? And I said, well, you just touched it funny, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. And he goes, can I turn it on and off? And I said, nope, can't turn it on and off. I said,
You can turn it on, but the off switch doesn't work so well,
exactly,
right?
exactly. Yeah, you can't turn it off. I'm like, and listen, man, sometimes what my dad told me is like, if I had this going on, just go pee. And go and pee will get rid of it. And it does, by the way, fellas.
But you have to force it down to pee, right?
Yeah, it's like you do like
you have to stand up. Yeah.
like you gotta do like a freaking just one of these.
Good.
Sometimes while you're pushing down.
Show,
like, what I did with Jenna is I basically was almost doing a handstand, but on the toilet. Or you just gotta go in the shower.
And once you pee, it'll chill out.
And once you do.
Yeah.
So those are the little things that Fran is gonna have to talk to your boy about. And I don't know when they stop, because I think I remember having these questions till I was like 15.
I want to know too, though. You never know. I could be in an alone situation with my child, and I don't always want to throw dad under the bus.
Because I didn't think boners happened until we got like to 13.
No.
That's my first recollection of,
oh,
this is kind of cool.
Right.
And then you explore. And so in my head, I'm like, yeah, I didn't get one of those till I was probably 13, because Kinsey was asking me about it before Kason was born. And then my guy, he was born, and he had a boner within the first day of being alive.
Oh, yeah, like a little baby one.
Yeah, but you could clearly tell. And I'm like, oh, shoot, we come equipped. Like, we're ready to go. So get excited.
Yeah, Fran and I are going to have some things to discuss.
Yeah.
I'm actually less scared about, I guess, pregnancy and like newborn stage as I am about like how to raise a good child. You know what I mean? So for him and I tend to read more books about raising good, empathetic.
That's all I care about too.
Children, because I was like, you can probably figure out the baby shit. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty overwhelming at first, and you're tired and you're just learning kind of on the go, but you can't really ruin them, when you're taking care of them as an infant. It's more about how you discipline and teach lessons and, let them talk about their emotions and things like that I care more about learning about.
Listen, I'm about almost 10 years in, and I'm still figuring things out. I'm still figuring things out. You second guess yourself a lot.
Yeah, because I bet you feel like shit when you get mad at them.
Yeah, you
yell at them.
Or you yell at them. What I determined, which was a little bit different than how I was raised, is I'm not gonna put my hands on them.
Yeah.
So I have swatted at Kason's butt once or twice, but I'm not gonna use the belt or the chancla like I was accustomed to. I just felt like I'm not gonna slap them across the face. It's more of you get their attention I raise my voice sometimes. Oh, the reason I do this is because I want to set an example for my daughter. I don't want to be a man yelling. I don't yell at Chloe, by the way. I try my hardest not to. I do, and I know it's.
Does Kinsey yell at her?
Yeah. Kinsey does yell at her. And I don't know if this is sexist or not, or if I'm doing it wrong, but I choose not to yell at my daughter for the main reason of I don't want her to ever think that it's okay that a guy yells at her.
Who is more of the disciplinarian out of you and Kinsey?
You split it.
Together.
You can't. You got to split it. And so
you're like always on the same page about the punishments and stuff.
But with Chloe, I try to be as calm as possible. Again, I don't want to raise my voice. I don't want her to ever think it's okay for a man to yell at her, and that starts with her dad. So if she's ever going to be dating a dude when she's 16, and I've seen boys, and I was even an asshole at times with girls probably when I was 16, and they talk to her the wrong way, I want her to go, my dad never talked to me like that. Bye. I want her to have that wherewithal. I don't want to hit her or spank her because, again, I don't want her to ever think it's okay that a man can touch her like that. And same with my son. I don't want to put my hand on my son or hit him because then that shows him that it's okay for somebody else to hit him. And I want him to be fully aware of that. I do yell at Kason a lot. I would say I'm probably a little bit tougher on Kason, and that's because of their personality differences.
That's the thing. Sometimes kids are just so different,
They're
right?
different.
Like I have a girlfriend who has a 9-year-old daughter who's an angel. She, different dad, great girl, just totally different disposition. She has a little more attitude now, but she's just sweet, And then she has a little one who we joke, she is a little terrorist. Like she's amazing and funny and so verbal, but she's wild. And my friend says she needs discipline. I never once had to spank this child. I never once had to yell at her or throw her in her room and say, you're not leaving. But this little one is just, she's the type that she's like, okay, and she'll bend over. She just has this attitude. It's wild.
You'll get to know their personalities as it's happening. And you know what else changes? Your work ethic changes. Everything that you once deemed important completely flips upside down. You remember,
no, work's still gonna be important. I'm gonna have this baby rat up here in this office. Next time we're podcasting, this baby's gonna be sitting right
you'll
here.
You'll find your balance. You'll find your balance. Trust me. But you're gonna put your baby before work, and not everybody does this, but I chose to do that.
I guess good parents do, right?
You saw me when we first met. We were in our 20s, and I did not say no to anything work-related. You asked me to work on a Saturday at 11 o'clock at night, I was there. You asked me to work on a weekday after I did a radio show, I was there. I said yes to everything work-related. Now I delegate everything. And the reason for that is it was one of those quotes that you see when somebody's dying, you never hear them say, I wish I would have worked more. I wish I would have made more money. You never hear anybody dying say that, but you do hear them say, I wish I would have spent more time with my family.
Yeah.
And that shit hit me so hard in the core, like super deep. And I know it's one of those quotes you hear before you have kids a lot. And then I heard it after I had kids, and it hit just right when I heard it when I had kids. And that's when I made up my mind. I said, nope, that's more important. My kids' football game, more important than whatever's going on in my life.
Yeah, and they'll remember that. It'll be great. I think Fran and I are going to have our work cut out for us because we handle things differently. We discipline the dogs differently. You know, like he gets very mad at the dog for doing something, and Hefe just doesn't understand. Like we could whack Hefe because he's just annoying. You know, he's still kind of a puppy, but Hefe gets pissed when we're mad at him. But I told Fran, I'm like, looking at Fran, I'm like, we're going to have to go to some therapy to learn how to discipline a kid, because if, you know, that's going to be hard if we don't see eye to eye on that.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I definitely see him being, I'm way softer, you know, like he's definitely going to be more of the disciplinarian. You know, that's why I was kind of hoping for a girl, because I'm like, oh yeah, he'll be soft with a girl, but with a boy, yeah, I worry that he'll be like fine. Hard on him, you know, and then I'll be the softie that like lets him get away with everything, which isn't good either.
Boys need that though, Jenna. I'm telling you, this is why a lot of boys are putting sports and football, soccer, basketball. They're putting those sports so that they can get yelled at by other men, so they could see that if you don't do your job, if you don't do what you're told to do, if you don't help out your family or your team, there are repercussions. So they'll be fine. Fran's gonna be fine.
Well, you think he'll be fine. I'm not so certain. So I'm going to sign us up for some BetterHelp therapy.
Right.
This is great. JC and I have talked about BetterHelp for a while now. They've been a sponsor of the podcast. JC and I, we make it no secret that we've both sought therapy in different capacities. I mean, Fran and I have done couples therapy before. You know, around the time we got engaged, we just thought we'd kind of like freshen up everything in the relationship, things we weren't seeing eye to eye on. We weren't good at arguing. You know, we didn't have good arguing skills with one another. And no matter what you're going through, whether you're in a relationship or not, life is really stressful. There's a lot going on in the world right now that contributes to that: job stress, personal relationships, family, all those sorts of things. But who wants to get dressed and go into an office and talk to someone face to face? No, it can be uncomfortable. It can be expensive. That's why BetterHelp's amazing, because it's virtual therapy customized to you, specific to what your needs are. Yep. You don't even have to turn your camera on your computer. They'll match you with someone.
These are licensed therapists.
Yeah.
They're licensed to do this kind of work. And again, a lot of people are shy, Jenna. Like sometimes you don't want to open up to a random person you just met in person, but it's a lot easier through a screen or through text. Yeah,
and this is going to be much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with a therapist in under 48 hours. Get some feedback for yourself. I love therapy. I think if you're just struggling a lot, things are really dark, or just a little bit, and you need some coping skills with everything going on in life right now, BetterHelp is there for you. You are actually going to be able to get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Fitish. That's BetterHelp.com/Fitish. Really great. Yeah, I'm sure Fran and I are going to need some of that. We got some time though.
Yeah, you got plenty of time
before we get there.
You guys going to take any like baby moon trips or anything like that planned?
You know, the plan was yes. Because last year I didn't do anything. Now I have a more flexible work schedule, and I have a ton of miles. So we were really thinking about going and doing something kind of nice, romantic, go to Europe, a couple places we've never been before. It looks like that's very likely not going to happen anymore. I mean, I've been reading that Europe's probably going to shut down to the US here again anytime now. You know, I really want to go see his family in Mexico as well, you know, because they want to have a little shower for me, and he has a nephew about to turn 1. So, but again, everything in Mexico is closed. So if we go, we would just go probably stay with his parents and, you know, for a couple of days and catch up. And yeah, it's going to be hard. You know, I have a feeling we're about to get into this place where a lot's going to be, pretty strict again, especially when it comes to like pregnancy. They just, as of a couple months ago, maybe not even a couple months ago, allowed partners to come in to the room with you for a lot of these appointments, which is great because I had a couple girlfriends give birth last year during all of this. And they were like, yeah, it sucked because the husband could be there for the delivery, but family couldn't come to the hospital at the time. And all of the other appointments, all the cool sonograms and stuff that you get to do, they just had to FaceTime.
Yeah.
With their partner. And I know you get through it. It is what it is. You get through it. You want everyone to be healthy. But yeah, some of the doctors have kind of brought that up at appointments that we may be very likely headed back to that direction. So I don't know what we're going to do.
It's like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It starts getting good. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we got to go back to what it was like last year.
Yep, it is. It is. It really sucks. But, I guess we'll just get through it, right? Like we did. We'll do whatever we have to do. So, yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. So it's kind of hard to plan anything right now. I wanted to my mom hasn't been anywhere in so long, and I feel terrible. She has not been out of town. She hasn't gotten to do anything like that in a long time. And, probably more than a couple of years now. And so I was trying to kind of plan something for her and I to do. And I wanted to take her to Salem, like where the witches are, Massachusetts.
That's so on brand with you.
Yeah. No, but Salem, Salem, this isn't just like fun witch history. This is where like all the women that they accused of being witches were like,
taken out.
Yeah. Burned alive. So they have a witch museum there.
This is how they used to how they figured out if they were witches or not back in the day, is they would kill them and then they'd go, oh, look at that.
Not a witch. Yeah.
Turns out she wasn't a witch, which was 100% of the people they killed.
But we've wanted to go to Salem. We want to go somewhere real. So actually, if anyone has any recommendations, this is great because I want to go somewhere in the East Coast, like Vermont or something like that. If we're able to, I want to take my mom somewhere for a weekend because she loves fall. And when you live in Texas, I grew up in Ohio, so we had beautiful long fall. Like we had four full seasons when you grow up in the Midwest, when the leaves change and it's crisp. Here it fucking sucks in Texas. Like it's going to be 105 degrees until all of a sudden one day there's like no leaves on the trees and you're like, it goes from like hot to cold overnight. And anyway, so if you have any recommendations of somewhere, I don't want to go necessarily like Boston. I don't want to go to a big city. I want to go somewhere that's kind of quaint. I want to go like get maple syrup out of a tree.
Vermont
and like pick apples. Yeah, I want to go somewhere like that where it's just gorgeous and kind of remote that we can stay at a bed and breakfast. And because I'm going to be pregnant as shit, I'm going to probably not want to do a whole lot but eat and like enjoy the cool weather. So, but yeah, if we're able, that's a plan. So I think I'm just going to be the type that has to wait until the last minute and be like, Fran, like mid-October, be like,
let's go.
Do you want to go to like Paris for a few days or, do you want to go somewhere? So we'll see.
What are you going to dress your belly up as for Halloween? Because you
knew
love
this question
Halloween.
Was coming soon.
I know.
Do you not know me yet well enough to know that you couldn't pay me to paint my stomach?
You don't have to paint your stomach, but you could dress up as something cool.
I've thought about it. A lot of people have started asking me what I'm going to do. I really don't know. I'm sorry to say this. I know this is going to break some hearts. I've lost a little bit of my Halloween
Your zest.
luster.
Your luster.
My zest for Halloween. I still love it. I'm really looking forward to like having a child to get into Halloween and dressing up. I think that'll be fun and to take trick or treating because I've always wanted that. I was an only child. I want people to come over and get candy and do the whole thing. But I don't know. I think I've kind of hit this crossroads of like, okay, I'm over my whole dressing up phase. Now I'm like ready to pass on the baton to a child and have them experience Halloween. So I don't know. If you think of any good costume ideas, I'm down. But I can't think of anything that incorporates. I'm always a dude on Halloween. I like funny. I like scary. I don't know how to incorporate a belly into a Halloween costume.
Kinsey dressed up as, she was pregnant one Halloween. She dressed up as Britney Spears. Like when she was pregnant that 1 year.
Yeah, like pregnant celebrities, I guess, makes sense. Like an Angelina or a Britney, But that's not my style.
No, it's not.
I want something kind of scary. I saw like a mummy. Like, a pregnant woman that was like a mummy.
That's pretty good.
And that was pretty good, kind of basic, but that's cool. I don't know. I haven't nothing's like hit me. Usually it just hits me.
I think you should get like some doll parts and have like an arm poking out and a leg poking out of your stomach, like I think that would be legit.
I don't want a bare painted belly.
It's not painted. Yeah. It's just don't use Gorilla Glue. That's probably bad for your for the baby skin.
Probably.
But just glue it on here. It's like actual leg poking out. That's pretty dope.
Dark and clever,
like
I
the
guess.
Baby kicked
That's
through.
pretty dark.
Or have the alien from the movie coming out.
Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty dope. That's why I wish I was pregnant.
I do not want to bear and paint my belly. Like it's just not my vibe, y'all. It's just not my thing.
Send her some ideas.
Send me some ideas. I'm down.
I know some of you have been pregnant and have come up with some dope pregnancy Halloween costumes.
Yeah, send me some ideas. I'm just I don't know. I gotta navigate this maternity figure. I gotta figure out what my vibe is, what my style is. Okay. I just don't know.
Now, before we finish the podcast, I want to get your feels on this.
Okay.
It's I guess it's kind of like, was it racist? Nothing I did, by the way. It's something that was done to me.
It's always like a hot topic. When someone asks me, was it racist? I'm like,
I want to know, because I don't know if I'm being too sensitive to something that was written back to me. I got in a bit of a feud with a gentleman, aka an asshole. Nothing to do with work. Is this a
follow-up from the story you told about what he wrote you? The guy from your kid's fantasy football?
This kid. Yeah.
Or fantasy football, from football.
So this dude, we don't see eye to eye. I'm not a big fan of his.
Yeah.
I wrote him and called him out on a few things. And he was very condescending. So I let it go. Then it got reignited recently. And I wrote him back. And this time, I was a little I poked a little bit, and because he pretended he didn't know my name a lot. Mm-hmm. So I poked back at that and pretended I didn't know his name. That was the only poking I did. The rest was just facts that I dropped. And he responded with another very condescending email, basically saying he wasn't going to read my garbage or whatever. And then said at the end, he signed off with, "So stop talking to me. Adios, amigo."
Yeah.
So that struck me that just struck me as a little undertony with
I agree, because if you're friendly with someone, you can throw out the few Spanish words that you know, like I can be like, hola, but if you're fighting with someone and say it, then
So before I blew up and said anything, I responded to him. I was like, hey man, I sensed, and there was a couple other things in the email that he said that.
Yeah, you told us this one. Yeah.
And so I haven't responded yet because I don't know how to treat it.
I don't know why you'd respond. I don't know why you're still even engaged with this guy. Like, why wouldn't you just drop it and be the bigger person?
So I'm being threatened now, but he's trying to make sure that I don't get to coach. And so I don't want to go to his bosses or to the people that run his stuff. And because I think this is the type of stuff that could get you kicked out, or even your employer. I'm not that guy. Like, I'm the guy that if you mess up, there's a restaurant by my house, a fast food spot that has messed up my order 5 times. I refuse to call and complain because I don't want a freaking kid to lose his job.
Why don't you just be the bigger person then and just send an email and be like, hey, look, you know what? Let's bury it. I know we don't see eye to eye, and I know you don't want to do that. But I mean, those are your options. You either try and bury it and do the bigger man thing, even though, I'm sure you're not in the wrong. Or then you would have to take it to that level. Right. You know what I mean?
Get super petty with it.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't get super petty. It's a drain of negative energy. It's just negative energy. It's bad vibes. You're never going to win with someone like that. You're never going to win with someone that's picking fights or being racist. I mean, it's hard to ever turn anyone and I hate to say it, but most people that are like pretty inherently racist, like you're not really going to change them right now, especially by being petty back.
Right.
By just being cool and chill about it and just saying, look, obviously we don't see eye to eye. I don't know where we got off on the wrong foot. Let's just put it behind us. This should be about kids playing football. Leave it at that.
I really want to do what all the TikTokers and YouTubers are doing. Just do a boxing match.
Or that. That's a great idea.
Is that too much?
I'll come watch you fight.
Would you?
Yeah. Why don't you say that? End it nicely. And if you want to fight,
boxing match.
And if you want to fight, then let's set a date.
I don't get why all these.
I actually think that's great. It gives them 2 great options. Sure. Either bury the hatchet or fight to the death.
I'm the guy that'll only call out a boxing match if I think I'm going to win. I ain't going to call it up against the guy.
Well, why don't you let us know what you think JC should do? And Alternately, if you have any nice peaceful places for me to take my mom, let me know. But you email us info@fitish.com. I read all of your emails, I promise. And we'll get to some more questions next week.
I'm going to start training. Bye.